Okay, so imagine planting a single tree today. And we're not just doing this to watch it grow, but as a kind of thought experiment in exponential multiplication. At first, it's just this fragile little sapling in the dirt. But as it matures, it starts producing seeds. Those seeds fall, they take root, and suddenly they become even more trees, which eventually produce their own seeds. Before you know it, you aren't just observing a little bit of growth, you're literally witnessing the birth of a totally self-replicating ecosystem.
Or, picture a tiny snowball rolling down a hill, constantly picking up speed and size. It seems like a super simple concept, right? But here is a truly fascinating quirk of human psychology. Our brains are basically evolutionarily wired to understand linear growth, not exponential growth. We just naturally expect 1 + 1 to equal 2. We don't instinctively expect a small handful of snow to suddenly trigger a massive avalanche. And yet, this exact exponential acceleration is the secret to literally one of the most powerful wealth-building tools ever discovered.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're dissecting the core mechanics behind long-term wealth, compound interest. It is the silent engine that fundamentally drives wealth generation, and I'm so excited to unpack exactly how this works under the hood. Let's dive in.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the core concept. Second, the power of time. Third, the wealthy playbook. Fourth, the pitfalls. And finally, number 5, the action plan.
Starting right off with Section 1, the core concept. So, compound interest is essentially financial momentum. It's earning returns on your initial investment, and crucially, this is the magic part, earning returns on the returns that have already been generated. Think of it like this: your money goes to work, and then the money your money made actually goes out and gets a job too. This momentum just builds upon itself quietly in the background, transforming what was once a static asset into something highly dynamic. It's absolutely a game changer. Moving on to Section 2, the power of time. Let's look at a classic comparison. Consider two theoretical investors. You've got Alex, who starts investing at age 25, and Jordan, who waits to invest until age 35. Let's assume both of them invest the exact same amount every single month and earn the exact same average annual return. Because Alex started earlier, that initial capital simply had a longer runway to multiply. So even if Jordan invests really diligently and aggressively later on, Alex still ends up with a significantly larger portfolio. We're often talking hundreds of thousands of dollars more, and that's simply because of those 10 extra years of exponential momentum. The absolute ultimate takeaway here is that time can literally be one of the most valuable assets an investor has. There is this deeply ingrained irony in finance, Investors will spend countless hours obsessing over how to perfectly time the market, when simply having time in the market is the actual, tangible asset. Small, consistent amounts deployed early will almost always beat large amounts deployed late, for sure.
Which brings us to Section 3, the wealthy playbook.
So how are the wealthy actually doing this? Well, wealthy individuals use specific, well-known vehicles to capture this momentum. We're talking index funds, ETFs, tax-advantaged retirement accounts, dividend-paying investments, and of course, real estate or businesses. Now, the specific vehicle a person chooses might change based on their individual risk appetite, but the underlying engine, just giving your capital the necessary time to compound and self-replicate, remains entirely identical across the board.
Let's look at Section 4, the pitfalls.
We've all seen the behavioral mistakes that short-circuit this compounding momentum. Things like waiting for the perfect time to start investing, which, spoiler alert, paradoxically never arrives, or selling during market declines out of pure fear, skipping contributions for long periods, or expecting overnight success. Ironically, checking your portfolio every 5 minutes during a random Tuesday afternoon market dip is a remarkably effective way to completely sabotage your own compounding. This system heavily rewards patience over panic. Because at the end of the day, the biggest obstacle is very often emotion, not mathematics. Mastering the actual math of compound interest, that takes roughly 5 minutes. But mastering the anxiety of a sudden market drop, that takes a lifetime. Human psychology, much more than a lack of financial literacy, is usually what derails the entire compounding process.
So let's get into Section 5, the action plan.
Creating a budget, building an emergency fund, investing consistently, and scaling your contributions up with your income. These are the core strategic steps. But let's reframe them a bit. Building an emergency fund isn't just about preparing for a broken water heater, right? It actually acts as a defensive moat. It protects your compounding assets from being liquidated prematurely when a sudden crisis hits. You are essentially insulating your wealth engine so it can just keep running completely uninterrupted. Ultimately, the goal here isn't perfection, it's progress. Compounding is a strategy of endurance. It doesn't instantly transform your balance sheet overnight, but it quietly and consistently rewards those who maintain discipline over the long haul.
As the saying goes, your future self will thank you for every smart financial decision you make today. That first seed planted or that small snowball pushed over the edge absolutely sets off a chain reaction that pays dividends decades from now. So the only real question left to ask you is this: what is one small thing you can do today to get your own snowball rolling? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.